Takashi Murakami is a Japanese painter, graphic designer, sculptor, animator, director, and all-around artist. I chose to do my project on Murakami because his flat, hyper-colorful, and cartoon-influenced aesthetic is a major inspiration for my own work, and I really admire his highly artistic take on graphic design. His work, which combines classic Japanese painting techniques with contemporary manga and anime aesthetics, is often focused around either cute or erotic characters, simple shapes, and fantasy themes. Murakami's works are often scenes with expressive tones that convey a range of emotions. The artist mixed masterful color palettes with extraordinary subjects, ranging from joyful organic characters to psychedelic otherworldly figures. Takashi Murakami has stated that the artist is someone who understands the border between worlds and who makes an effort to know them. He is the founder and president of KK Kiki Company, managing the careers of younger artists and organizing the biannual art fair Gisei. Murakami was born in Tokyo in 1962 and became interested in art at a very young age as his family instilled in him the importance of creativity, art, and Japanese culture. His mother designed textiles, and his younger brother is also an artist. When Murakami was young, in addition to his regular schoolwork, his parents would give him extra assignments, such as attending an art gallery or event, and then expect him to turn in an essay to them about the art that he saw. As a teenager growing up in Japan, he was exposed to Japanese anime and manga, which soon became his biggest hobby and passion. He initially wanted to study anime at Tokyo National University of Fine Arts and Music, but opted to instead focus on Nihonga, which translates to Japanese-style painting. Nihonga paintings are created in accordance with traditional Japanese artistic conventions, techniques, and materials. As a means to categorize his overall aesthetic, Murakami coined the term superflat, which he meant as a title for not only the style of his art, but what he believed to be the current state of Japanese culture. Murakami linked the tendency to work within two-dimensional flatness in Japanese art with what he considered to be a flatness or shallow emptiness in Japanese culture. He is noted as saying, "It is a frustration rooted in the lack of a reliable and sustainable art market in post-war Japan, and the general view of Japanese art in and outside the country as having low art status." He is similarly quoted as saying, "The market is nothing but a shallow appropriation of Western trends." Murakami created Superflat on the basis of Japanese aesthetics, strongly involving the dissident ukiyo-e prints of the past, and for many of his paintings, Murakami utilizes screen printing techniques similar to the ukiyo-e woodblock printing process. Another level of influence can be found from pop art. Murakami is often compared with American pop artists, especially Warhol, sometimes being referred to as the new or the Japanese Warhol. What makes Superflat different from pop art, though, is that it brings other issues to the table, issues such as economic and cultural problems that are part of the lives within the consumer culture. They are similar in their use of technology, syntactic complexity, and the interplay with pictorial forms using a range of media, employing familiar subjects, and the literal presence of objects are all things that both art movements share. Yet, pop art was generally only concerned with the issues of the Western world, and particularly American culture within a certain time frame. Another major difference between the two is that Warhol took from the low and gave to the high. With ironic detachment, his work, paintings few could afford, films few could understand, appealed to an audience, a very particular audience. Murakami, on the other hand, takes from the low and gives to the high, the low and everything in between. He makes paintings, sculptures, videos, t-shirts, keychains, mouse pads, plush dolls, cell phone caddies, basically anything else imaginable. Murakami's work hits all price points, making his work accessible to essentially anyone who wants it. As a fine artist, Murakami is world-renowned and highly successful. Murakami's work has been exhibited at prestigious museums all over the world, including the Tokyo Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, a recent solo retrospective exhibition at the Bard College Museum of Art. In September 2010, he was the third contemporary artist and the first from Japan to exhibit his works at the Palace of Versailles in France, filling 15 rooms and the park with his sculptures, painting, a decorative carpet, and lamps. A comprehensive survey exhibition, Murakami, opened at Museum of Contemporary Art, LA, in 2007 and traveled to Brooklyn, the Museum for Modern Kunst in Frankfurt, and the Guggenheim Museum during 2008 to 2009. His most recent institutional exhibition, Murakami Ego, whose centerpiece was an astounding 100-meter painting inspired by the Tohoku earthquake that took place in 2012 at the Al Riwaq Hall in Doha, Qatar. Although his fine art is perhaps what he is most known for, he has also had great success as a commercial artist. Murakami has been hired by many individuals and companies to use his signature superflat aesthetic for vehicles of visual communication, such as branding materials and advertisements. Aside from his collaborations with major companies, Murakami has also commercialized his own work. Similar to Warhol's factory, Murakami has built 2 production centers, known as the Hiropon factories, one of which is in Tokyo, and a smaller one, which is in Brooklyn. Each of his creations began as a sketch in one of his numerous pocket-sized notebooks. Full-size drawings are then scanned to the computer, where he paints and vectorizes his work in Illustrator. When it is complete to his standards, he passes along to one of his staffs at one of the Hiropon factories, who then prints out the work on paper, silkscreens the outline onto canvas, and commences painting in the classical form. One of the most noteworthy commercial collaborations Murakami did was with Louis Vuitton. Murakami was hired by Louis Vuitton head designer Marc Jacobs to reimagine the classic Louis Vuitton print. Murakami did just that, as you can see in the background of this slide, taking the instantly recognizable Louis Vuitton print, significantly upping the brightness of the hues and contrast, adding in some of his signature eyeballs, and just overall making it very Murakami. Aside from the initial print, Murakami also made several other versions of the print, including one with cherry blossoms, a classic Japanese symbol, and he also did several reimagination versions of the classic Louis Vuitton logo. Aside from that, you can see in the bottom left, he also did extensive store display materials in all of their major stores. The line did exceptionally well, raking in over $300 million in revenue and solidifying Murakami's place as a celebrity-level artist. Another one of Murakami's most widely recognizable projects was a work he did for Roppongi Hills housing development in Tokyo. The largest city redevelopment in Japan, Roppongi Hills is a sprawling area with luxurious housing, designer shops, all of which are intent on surviving the threat of an office space glut and eager to keep Japan competitive as a destination for foreign visitors and, most importantly, for investments. This new landmark complex gave Tokyo a much-needed cultural center combining culture, education, business, residence, and commerce. Murakami was hired to do a series of marketing and advertisement materials, most noticeably, as seen in the slide, a series of advertisement murals that portrayed the development as seen with playful, colorful creatures. The murals covered Japan for the time being and became one of his most notable and highly recognizable projects. Along with the advertisement, Murakami also created branding materials for the entire development, including Roppongi Hills' custom Monopoly game. With the exception of his work with Louis Vuitton, Murakami's most celebrity-level work was that with rapper and producer Kanye West. West, who has always carried an affinity for Japanese culture and is a huge fan of Murakami's work, approached the artist to make an album cover for his third studio release, Graduation, in 2007. The collaboration, which you can see in the slide now, resulted in a bright, busy, and beautiful album cover consisting of all the classic elements of a Murakami piece. Cute characters, intense use of color, a sense of movement, and a distinctly flat Japanese look. The album would go on to sell majorly, and the bear used in the initial piece would go on to become a major branding tool for Kanye West, being redubbed the Kanye Bear and showing up as a branding and marketing tool for him for quite some time after the release of the album. As an artist, Murakami questions the line drawn between East and West, past and present, high art and popular culture, Albeit influenced by a range of factors, he has created a style that is distinctly his own. His ability to combine lovable, friendly characters with serious social and cultural commentary has led him to be one of the most highly regarded artists and graphic designers in Japan, as well as having gained him major attention on an international level. Thank you so much for listening.